Varadan?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Very good morning.
Good morning. எவ்வளவு பேர் என்ட்ரி ஆயிருக்காங்க மிஸ்டர் வரதன்?
1556.
1556. இல்ல இவ்வளவு பேர் இப்போ என்ட்ரி ஆயிட்டாங்களா?
இல்ல என்ட்ரி ஆயிருக்கிறது இனிமேதான் பார்க்கணும்.
அதான் என்னால அதை பார்க்க முடியல. ஐ ஜஸ்ட் வாண்ட் டு தேங்க்.
ரெஜிஸ்டர் பண்ணிக்கிறது 1556.
ஆமாமா. இப்போ இது வரைக்கும் என்ட்ரி 140 ஆயிருக்காங்களா? என்ட்ரி பண்ணிருக்காங்களா?
ஓகே. நான் என்டர் ஆகும்போது 60 இருந்தது.
ஓகே, இப்போ 140 இருக்கு.
ஓகே ஓகே
ஓகே. என்னாச்சு கலிஃபுல்லா? ஓகே. ஜஸ்டிஸ் வைத்தியநாதன் வந்துட்டாரு. கலிஃபுல்லா லிங்க் பண்ணின்னு இருக்கிறாரு.
யா.
Okay, sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to welcome you on behalf of Aprajita Group of Companies to our 60 Minutes Compliance webinar series in partnership with Labour Law Practitioners Association, Chennai. I also take this opportunity to welcome our 1,500 plus registered attendees who are part of our session today. It is with great pride I would like to mention we Aprajita have completed 20 dynamically powerful years in India. We were responsible for setting the tone for an organized compliance industry from the year 2000. Today, with a pan-India presence and humbly servicing 1,500 plus clients across 100 plus industries, we have also extended our compliance services to countries like Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and Nepal. I would also like to take this opportunity to introduce Labour Law Practitioners Association, Chennai. With 30 years of knowledge and experience accumulated by its members consisting of lawyers and trade union leaders, and Justice F.M. Ibrahim Khalifullah as its patron. The 60 Minutes Compliance series was formulated a year ago, keeping in mind the vast complexities experienced by organizations and the workforce in India. On the non-availability of updated compliance knowledge across domains such as labor, industrial, and finance. It has been our continuous effort to provide legal perspective to the market at large through our webinar. Today, we discuss on the subject, impact of labor codes. Before I proceed, there are a few points to be noted. Any questions on the subject discussed today can be typed under the Q&A box available at the bottom of your screen. We will try our best to answer each one of them. In case we run out of time, please email us your questions to the mail ID on which you received your invite for this webinar, and our legal experts will directly address them back to you through mail. The session is recorded and will be posted on YouTube fortnightly, which can be viewed and accessed easily. The link will be provided to you in our chat box. Moving forward, I would like to introduce our esteemed facilitator for today's session, Mr. S. Ravindran. Mr. Ravindran is a designated senior advocate by Madras High Court with specialization in labor and service laws for the past 40 years. He represents managements before Labor Courts, Industrial Tribunal, and High Court of Madras. Mr. Ravindran is also an honorary president of Labour Law Practitioners Association, Chennai. Thank you, sir, for partnering with us and for your continued support. And I hand over the forum to you.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Faisal. I don't know, Mr. Khalifullah is logged in. I'll just wait 1 second.
He's yet to join.
Yes, I don't see him. I'll just check up. Bashir is coordinating.
Okay. Good morning, Vaidyanathan sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Very nice to have you here in this program, sir.
Yes. Thank you. Is it possible to accommodate all the 1,500?
Yes, sir. Possible, sir. We are doing it every month, sir, from our company.
Okay.
What is Bashir phone, sir? இல்லாட்டி அவர் ஆர்டினரி லிங்க்ல வர சொல்லலாமா? ஏன் மிஸ்டர் வரதன்? बशीर फोन से.
Good morning, everybody. Apologize for the delay. We are having a little bit of bandwidth issue. Justice Khalifullah will join us in another 5 minutes. So kindly bear with us, and I will switch to a video for now. Thank you.
So Gokula Varsunno, sir. The video audio is a problem. Justice Khalifullah Varsunno, என்னோட பேர்டு கூடாது.
Dear all, thank you for joining the webinar. Just appreciate your patience. Just give us 2 minutes to get it started. Just 2 minutes to get it started, please. Thank you.
Hello? Start tomorrow.
You are audible, sir. Ravindran, sir.
இப்போ கலிஃபுல்லா 1 மினிட்ல ஜாயின் பண்றாரு சார்.
Okay.
நான் கூட ஒரு ஆல்டர்னேட்டிவ் பண்ணேன், பட் பஷீர் சொல்றாரு இஸ் ஜாயினிங் இன் 1 மினிட், இட்ஸ் கெட்டிங் இட் ரைட் அப்படின்ட்டு.
Okay.
சார் ஒரே நிமிஷம் சார், ஜஸ்ட் நான் ஒரே நிமிஷம். I think it's getting ready.
I am also getting ready. You know, you said I should be the alternate player, substitute.
Yes.
Sometimes
substitutes come and make centuries, sir. And goal கூட அடிச்சிடுவாங்க. நிறைய வாட்டி கப்ல வேர்ல்ட் கப்ல எல்லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா சப்ஸ்டியூட் வந்துட்டு 2 கோல் போட்டுட்டு போயிடுவார் அவரு. ஹலோ மிஸ்டர் வரதன். Mr. Varadan?
Yes, you are audible.
We can start the program by requesting Mr. Widened to inaugurate it. I was still attending it. I told him you will come next week. We will start with Mr. Widened. Okay. Can I start now?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. I am proud to introduce Mr. Justice A.S. Vaidyanathan, Judge Madras High Court, who is going to inaugurate this session. Madras Labor Law Practitioners Association, on behalf of myself and my other office bearers, President Mr. Ayadurai, Secretary Mr. Bala Naridas, Vice President Mr. Ramesh, Vice President Mr. Ravi, and my Treasurer Mr. Nehru, are deeply obliged to Mr. Justice Vaidyanathan for agreeing to inaugurate this session. These are because Justice Khalifullah is having some bandwidth problem. When I told Mr. Justice Vaidyanathan, he said, no, so you are making me a substitute. I said, don't worry, sir. Substitutes have scored World Cup goals and they won the World Cup also. And Ms. Vaidyanathan said, I am not prepared. I said, I am also not prepared to introduce you. But I know Vaidyanathan sir so many years that I have no problem in introducing him even at the blink. Mr. Justice Vaidyanathan became a High Court judge about 15 years ago.
Not 7 years ago.
7 years ago. This is what happens when I don't prepare.
But everybody knows.
Yes. Mr. Justice Vaidyanathan's father is a renowned trade union leader. You see his father and mother behind him, Mr. S. Subramaniam, who has given us the treasure to us, that is Madras Book Agency book, which is authority publication on labor laws. For example, to tell you the fact, Section 2J is not notified. Only his book makes it very clear. It is not notified. Many textbooks do not refer to that at all, and people get into confusion on 2J. It has been amended, it brought into force. Having come from labor leaders' family, it was most fitting that Justice Vaidyanathan should become High Court judge. And he was well organized during his practice days. And so also when he is now in adorning the High Court judgeship, when he was a lawyer, he will make it clear CGIT cases Thursday and Friday, ID cases so and so date, and he will send us SMS to all the other lawyers who are appearing for the other side to alert him whether he is ready or adjourning it. But now he is not doing it after becoming a judge. That's only. Otherwise, we can take liberties. When I told Mr. Justice Vaidyanathan he will be inaugurating the second session, he said, in fact, he is writing a book on that. Therefore, on behalf of our association and Aparijita, I humbly request Justice Vaidyanathan to inaugurate this session, which will be dealing with Code on Wages and Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions Code. Thank you, sir, for readily obliging for our request. Kindly inaugurate the session, sir.
Dear friends, many of them, I am really happy to note that more than 1,500 participants have joined to listen to the lecture scheduled today and on 31st. Honestly, I have not prepared, but anyhow, Mr. Ravindran said, let you be the substitute and inaugurate. All the labor enactments have been coded into 4. One as industrial relations code, the other one as occupational safety, health, one working condition code, and social security code of the year 2020. In fact, I want to analyze the various provisions in the Industrial Dispute Act, whether there is any provisions for interim orders has been given or not, like the Bombay enactment. Since already 45 minutes have gone by, and that Justice Khalifullah is unable to join due to the bandwidth problem, and that Mr. Varadan, who is an expert in the field, is going to address on the different codes today and on 31st. I am also one of the person who is eagerly waiting to listen to him, so that I can coin and codify my book. When wherever there is usually human to err is human. If there is anything to be corrected, it can be incorporated, and that I am also going to take some suggestion from senior lawyers like Mr. Prasad, Mr. Ravindran, Ms. Vaigai, and others, KM Ramesh and others. When I bring out the codes, so that it will be helpful to everyone, so that the litigation, if any, is completed during the lifetime of the worker. Because many of the award is a posthumous award, and we find that even 2005 matters are pending before the court. So I wish good morning, Justice Khalifullah. I'm sorry, I have stepped into your shoes for organizing this, commencing this.
You are the best person to inaugurate this webinar. Please do that. Please go ahead, brother. I will do my part later on.
Yes.
Yes.
I wish the organizers a good success, and I wish Mr. Ramesh, Ayadurai, Haridas, Ravi, Nehru, and others who are the members of the Labour Law Practice Association to ensure that the seminars on this code are frequently arranged, if not at least once in 3 months, so that if there are any difficulties in the complying with the provisions or with regard to implementation, it will be good, so that neither the management nor the workers suffer due to the pendency of the litigation. I once again thank everybody for giving me an opportunity, and more so Mr. Ravindran, who is going to address us, and we are eagerly to, everyone is eagerly waiting to listen to his address. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thanks, Mr. Justice Vaidyanathan. After Mr. Justice Vaidyanathan's inauguration, it's my privilege to introduce to the attendees Mr. Justice F.M. Ibrahim Khalifullah, who will inaugurate this session now. Sir, kindly make your address and inaugurate the session, sir. Sir, Mr. Justice.
Thank you, Ravi. Sorry for the information technology difficulties which I faced.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Vardhan, good morning to both of you and good morning to all the participants. I hear that there are about 1,500 participants who have expressed their desire to join this webinar. Good morning to all of you. See, we have gathered here today to hear, know, understand, and get clarified about the 4 labor codes which the Parliament has enacted. It's a new legislation. Therefore, all those who will be covered by these legislations have to necessarily understand the implications, the coverage, the various prescriptions in order to make their manufacturing activity as well as rendering of services without any difficulty. You see, manufacturing, the manufacture of goods and services is dependent upon the coordinated effort of management and labor. It's 2 sides of a coin. The result cannot be achieved in the absence of either of the parties. Therefore, it is imperative that these statutory prescriptions provide the necessary guidance, the way in which things should function. There are 4 codes: the Industrial Relations Code, the Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions Code, and the Code on Social Security, all of the year 2020, and the Code on Wages of 2019. The Industrial Relations Code 2020, it has repealed 3 enactments. It contains 104 sections, 44 definitions, 3 schedules, and the Code on Wages 2019, it has repealed 4 enactments. It contains 69 sections, 26 definitions. Of course, there is no schedule. The Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions Code 2020, it has repealed 13 enactments. It contains 143 sections, 65 definitions, 3 schedules. Code on Social Security 2020, it has repealed 9 enactments, contains 164 sections, 91 definitions, 7 schedules. You will find in all, there are 480 sections, 226 definitions, 13 schedules, plus rules are to come, which will be definitely of equal number or more than that. So, today's seminar, part 1, is to discuss the Code on Wages 2019 and the Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions Code 2020. There are 2 divergent views about the new codes which has now been introduced. One view is that as the economy of the country has undergone a sea change, there is a transformation in the manufacturing sector, employment in private sector and public sector has widened, the standard of living has taken a different shape, and so on, so forth. And therefore, the laws that existed concerning management and labor needed a fresh look to march forward. See, for instance, today I was supposed to join at 11 o'clock. Of course, the scientific development, the information technology development has provided us this, this very beautiful and a very comfortable technology development, this webinar. We are able to connect 1,500 people in just one stroke. But I failed. Therefore, when there is some lack in service, it creates serious implications. Therefore, in such a situation, a fresh look to the existing laws was needed, was one view. It was said that the laws which existed prior to the present codes were mostly enacted in the pre-independent era or immediately after independence. And therefore, the laws relating to labor and management needed to be infused with new thinking to suit the changed circumstances. That is one view. The other view is that the laws which existed were enacted historically to deal with the different situations and were all time tested, and therefore the newly enacted codes will unsettle settled positions. It is also felt that while composing the various enactments into 4 codes, the rule-making process has been widened. There is one point of view. It is further said that since the investment of power sought to be made more with the executive, there is scope for constitutional violations. These are two different views. It is bound to occur. Today, in part 1, the discussion is going to be on code on wages and code on occupational safety, health, and working conditions. 2 experts have joined hands today, Mr. Ravindran, Senior Advocate, and Mr. K. Vardhan, Chief Consultation Officer of Aparajita. Mr. Ravindran, both of us had worked together as lawyers. Both of us were trained in the field of labor laws by our friend, philosopher, and guide, who is none other than Mr. D.S. Gopalan, for more than 2 to 3 decades. Mr. Vardhan knows well. Everyone in the field of labor laws, industrial relations, personal management, HRD, all of them, everyone knows Mr. D.S. Gopalan. And we were trained very minutely in this field. And more than me, Mr. Ravindran, at least after 2000, I started poking my nose in all other fields apart from labor, whereas Mr. Ravindran continued in this field, and the Madras High Court found in him the wealth of knowledge on this subject, and it was felt that his knowledge on labor law should be helpful to everyone who is practicing in the courts, and he was designated as a senior advocate, mainly concentrating on the labor laws in the Madras High Court and other high courts. He inhales and exhales labor, I would say. And therefore, the participants can be rest assured that they will get to know the nuances of the new courts. Haran, he has done so many webinars. Mr. Varada, of course, my interaction with him may not be so wide, but yet, since I am also in the field, every now and then I hear about his involvement in this field. He is the chief speaker. He is the chief consultation officer of Aparajita. He is known to most of the participants. He is another stalwart in this field of labor law and practice. By virtue of his wide experience in advising the members of Aparajita on a day-to-day basis, there is going to be a threadbare discussion on the courts today, as well as on 31st October. I am sure that Brother Justice Vijayanath, who came for my rescue in between, he will definitely hold the field on 30th in full force. I'm told that the participants comprise of legal practitioners, union representatives, personal managers, HRD officials, and management representatives. The nature of labor issues used to be mostly non-employment cases, wage disputes, bonus disputes, retrenchment cases, layoff, lockout, strikes, so on and so forth. In dealing with those issues, what are the parties' prescriptions in the new courts that need to be noted, that will be addressed, and that will, being a new code, everyone who is in the field must know the prescriptions, and these two stalwarts will definitely give you elaborate, clear views on this. Therefore, this webinar, part 1 and part 2, will be of immense help to the participants while addressing the various issues concerning labor and management. I am extremely happy to inaugurate part 1 to discuss the new course today. I wish the participants their fruitful discussions on the new courts. I thank the Labor Law Practitioners Association, which was founded when we were practicing in the office of Mr. Gopalan. I also thank Aparajita for having given me this opportunity to refresh my mind. When Mr. Ravindran wanted me to join this webinar for inauguration, see, this is what we learned from Mr. Gopalan. We never do a half-baked business. We never do that. I therefore wanted Mr. Ravindran to send me all the 4 courts, 3 days. I was going through the whole thing. I have taken enough notes. I read the article of Mr. Ravindran. I read the article of Mr. Justice Chandru, because when you get an opportunity to know something new, you yourself must first get equipped of what it is. If not to the full extent, at least to some extent, because having practiced in the field of labor law, when we read the code, we were able to identify what were all the major changes. Now I could refresh my mind with the new code. I therefore thank Mr. Ravindran, I thank Mr. Vardhan, and I thank every participant for having patiently waited for me and allowed me to inaugurate this session. Thank you very much. This session will be a successful one. I wish everybody a great day today. Thank you. All the best to you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes.
We all know that you were always thoroughly preparing, even as an advocate and while delivering judgment. Yes, that is, yes. That you have taken 3 days to inaugurate this session shows how serious you have taken the issue. Probably after some time you will be giving a full-fledged workshop also with this knowledge. I'm really proud of you, sir, and we are very fortunate that the session is inaugurated by a Supreme Court judge. Before introducing sir, if the time had permitted, I would have said something more, but I want to say one thing even at this stage. Justice Khalifullah belongs to a very illustrious family, and his great-grandfather was Pudukkottai Diwan.
Grandfather.
Grandfather, Pudukkottai Diwan. And he was the first Muslim postgraduate, then first Diwan, and he had many firsts to his credit, which has come out very well in one of the e-journals. And when I read that article, what stood out about his grandfather, that so many reforms he had done even during that period, showed his nobility. Now, when Justice Khalifullah retired from Supreme Court on July 22nd, 16, I happened to listen to the speech on the YouTube. It's so coincidence that Justice Thakur, while going tributes to Justice Khalifullah, says the standout quality, I'll quote, the notable quality about Brother Khalifullah is that he is full of nobility. That he got it from grandfather is so obvious, it got connected. I was in tears when I read that article and listened to that speech today morning also. That how a humble person is the grandfather, his father, and Mr. Khalifullah. We are very happy that you took off time. You overcome the technical glitch, and you are determined to address us. Shows that what a quality gentleman you are all along. Sir, once again we thank from our heart for coming forward to inaugurate and taking so much effort. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Justice Vaidyanathan. Thank you for your accommodation.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Now, without much,
I take leave.
Okay, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Now, without much ado, I will proceed to the next session, most eagerly awaited. Justice Mr. Vardhan's speech. When this subject had come into discussion for last 2 months, in fact, I have addressed some seminars. I addressed seminar along with Mr. Vardhan. Mr. Vardhan, his profile is already available. I don't want to repeat it like a parrot, but I want to say something from my heart. I used to address seminars quite some time during the last 15 years or so. At that time, Mr. Vardhan used to be one of the participants. Then, after some time, he shared the stage with me. Now, He is speaking and I am listening. So that is a growth. In the last 10 years, his knowledge has grown tremendous. Put it simply, he is my reference man now. If I want to know something doubtful, I just call Mr. Vardhan, is it so, is it so? He is the most, I don't discredit anyone, he is the most competent person to speak on the subject. I requested him to address the lawyers because I thought a threadbare analysis is necessary. You would have already had many webinars for HR people, IR people, but I want him to address the lawyer fraternity. Therefore, I requested him. He had a tremendous work schedule already. Therefore, I requested 2 Saturdays. When I made a request last week of September, he was kind enough to allot this Saturday and next Saturday. Therefore, my dear lawyer friends and other HR professionals, let's spend the next 60 minutes very keenly listening to Mr. Vardhan. Mr. Vardhan, now the stage is for you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Ravindran. And a very good morning, every one of you. And first of all, as a part of organizing team, my apologies for the slight delay because of things which are beyond our control. But however, as Mr. Ravindran said, in fact, originally this was planned for specifically the labor law advocates for their association. But later on, we just thought we could join hands and we can include people from industries also. So that because this is now turning out to be a hot subject. In fact, employer bodies, many organizations, everybody, I think they are in various ways they are conducting programs on the new labor codes. Of course, it is ultimately to make the HR fraternity to be familiar with the codes, right? I think even today, if we read the old the Factories Act, definitely we'll get 1 or 2 new insights. So definitely, I think to get familiarized with the labor codes, we may have to again and again discuss on that. On my own behalf and on behalf of my company, Aparajita Corporate Services Limited, it's my pleasure and it's our privilege to be a part of a program where the stalwarts like Justice Kalifullah and Justice Vaidyanathan are also part of that. And of course, not to talk about Mr. Ravindran, who is a senior advocate, and I have been in touch with him at least for last 10 to 15 years. I think as a professional or as a friend, I think we have association, and I hope that is a continuous association and that will continue. And I think without taking much time, and thanks once again, apologies, and thanks a lot for your patience, all the participants. Let me get into my presentation.